When our mind is silent, our mind is clear. Our sensories heighten. Our consciousness heightens. You know, if your mind had no thoughts, every decision you make is fast and easy. If your mind had no thoughts, every decision you make, you listen to your highest self. Which is what? Which is the universe. So when you are sat without thoughts, then some things will happen. Some things you like the look of, some things you don't. Somebody gift you something. Great. Amazing, thank you. Some people doing some things that annoy you, frustrate you. When things annoy you, frustrate you, they trigger you. By the way, nothing can trigger you if there is not some problem or void or something that there's something in there to be triggered. If you don't have anything inside to be triggered, nobody can trigger you. I always say to some people, they say to me, this person makes me unhappy. I say, nobody can make you unhappy. You make you unhappy. I've known many complainers in my life before. Many. I've witnessed them. I witness them all the time. When I go out, I see them. I go on a train during rush hour. I see people who are annoyed. I see. And I see why they are annoyed. I see. Somebody pushed them. They're annoyed. But that person who pushed them didn't make them unhappy because that same person pushed me too. And I'm not unhappy. So I know that person didn't make the person unhappy. The unhappy person got triggered. That's why they're unhappy. I used to love when Wayne Dyer used to speak about this. He says if you take an orange and you squeeze it, what do you get? He says you get orange juice. He says you cannot get lemon juice or apple juice. You can't get any other thing out of it. If you take an orange and you squeeze it, you get orange juice. Pineapple juice, not apple juice. If you take an upset person and you squeeze them, you get upset. If you take a person who's full of love and you squeeze them, it doesn't matter how you squeeze them. All you will have is just love. You ever met people like that before? Because I have. I've met these angels before. I call them angels. I've met these angels before during my personal most darkest times. I don't know how many of you are brave enough to own up to your personal dark times, but I can open this book because that is what it is. It doesn't make me look any better, but that's what I was. They say every master was once a disaster. I used to be a disaster, but sometimes it takes a disaster to become a master. You know, you go extreme wrong, then you realize it awakens you sometimes.
Just a reminder for everyone, come in. We actually have a Manifesting Miracles event happening soon. I don't know if you guys attended one before, but this time we're going to do it a lot different. Back in 2019, I went up into the mountains in the Himalayas with my spiritual master, Master Sri Akarshana. Went through a whole pilgrimage and initiation journey to do something that's very different to the usual law of attraction and manifestation techniques. There was no scripting, there was no vision boards. It was more to do with allowing the universe to manifest through you. And that's by opening minor chakras, major chakras, and taking that energy out through third eye of a third eye meditation and being able to manifest in the outer dimension, which really enhances the results that you get in this physical reality. Hence, that's why it's called Manifesting Miracles. If you guys haven't got tickets to the event already, it's a 30-hour live training. It's going to be on Zoom, so you can tune in from anywhere around the world. And right now, there's like a 90% off the ticket price for the early bird special. So if you haven't got a ticket already, I encourage you guys, you can click on the first link inside the description and get your tickets now. I look forward to actually meeting you guys virtually, being able to get to know you guys a little better and help you towards your manifestations, whatever that could be. It could be love, it could be wealth, it could be your purpose, your life purpose. So see you guys there. Blessings. Namaste.
I would say 10, 15 years ago, I would say I was a horrible person. Like, I actually think so. It's not that I wanted to be, but I didn't know any other way. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't believe I wanted to hurt people, but I just don't think that I was the nicest human being. And I remember along the way, I would get these signs from these angels, and I don't know anybody ever met these angels before. They come in the form of human beings, other human beings. Whatever you shout at them, whatever you throw at them, they still only want to help you. And in those moments, that even makes the most horrible human being feel guilty. Now I come to realize that Those human beings were in fact angels. They were God sent. I thank the universe. I thank the universe because those angels taught me how to be a nice human being. And those angels taught me that it's possible. It's possible that people can throw hate and anger and frustration and emotions at you all day long. And it's possible to keep returning with love. It's possible. Some people say, no, you can't. You need to stand up for yourself. I've seen it before. It was possible. Olivia said this is a tricky one. It is. I want to state something. Everything you say is right. Everything you say is right. I was at Malaysia maybe around 7 years ago doing a talk out there, and I said, don't fight in life, just give love. People who fight actually need love most. I said, what you fight always fights back, so just learn to give love, be compassionate, because you don't know their background, you don't know what they've been through, so don't fight. And there was a guy at the front row who raised their hand. About hundreds of people in the room, this guy raised his hand, and I said, yes, sir. And he said, I don't agree with you. He said, sometimes in life, we gotta fight for ourselves. We gotta fight. I looked at him and I said, you're right. It took him a moment to digest. Then he stood up, and then everyone stood up, and then they started clapping. He looked at me, he said, how many of you ever argued with somebody before? Raise your hand if you've ever argued before. Come on, be honest, come on. Why are you so stupid? Why are you so stupid? I used to always argue with people. 7 years, I haven't argued with anybody. Not one. Small, big, nothing. No arguing. Why you argue? When you argue, you don't win. When you argue, you become them. That's probably the last thing you wanted. To become their vibration. That's why you see all through 3 days. All through 3 days, have we had a lot of opinions inside the chat? Yes or no? How many of you have seen some opinions inside the chat? Let me ask you a question. For 3 whole days, have I agreed with everyone's opinion? Yes or no? You've heard me numerous times. This doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't. Don't do it. That thing's dangerous. Extremely risky. Be careful. If I believe in what I believe in, if I know what I say is true, if it's a knowing, why would I argue? I don't need to prove any points to anybody. I hope you guys realize that. I mean, come on, 1,000 people across multiple Zooms for 3 whole days. Not everybody's going to agree with everything you say and do. Of course not. So how you deal with it? It's fine. It's all right. Everything is right. How to deal with family fights or with close people? You don't. Why do you want to deal with fights? Don't deal with fights. Some people will call you a pushover, Your ego mind sometimes will class yourself as a pushover. You gotta stand up for yourself. Let me tell you something. 1,000,000 times more relaxed to not need to stand. No, just let it be. It's okay. Let it be. 1,000,000 times easier. So now, let's have a look at this. Every day we're silent. When our mind is silent, our mind is clear. Our sensories heighten. Our consciousness heightens. If your mind had no thoughts, every decision you make is fast and easy. If your mind had no thoughts, every decision you make, you listen to your highest self. Which is what? Which is the universe. And you just do what you feel. That is flowing with the universe. And you can only do it when your mind has no thoughts. It's clear. Your consciousness is high. Your connectivity is there. And your decisions is easy. You are never in a shall I turn left or turn right situation. Never. Never. In relationship, in career, in anything. Never.